All right. So let's start off. We are going to start the physical practice lying down, but I want to start first with some breath work to get us going this morning. So you can come to a comfortable seat, whether that's on sits bones, on shins, whatever is best for you. Palms can rest down somewhere onto the lower part of your body. And if it feels safe for you, you can close your eyes. Always the option to keep them opened and focus a soft gaze forward. And as you start to settle into your structure, let yourself find a little bit of fidgeting. So maybe it's a rock forward and back, side to side, kind of adjusting your shoulders, just taking the time to notice where you land. And then if that's not where you wanted to land, how do you make subtle shifts to find yourself in a place that perhaps is more comfortable? It might feel a little bit more structured. It might feel a little bit softer. So knowing that wherever we land, we always have the option to make adjustments to find a place that feels like the place that we want to be in. So find the place that your body is asking to be in this morning. And as you inhale, start to bring the breath in from the base of your spine all the way up through the crown of your head. You might feel that you lift up a little bit higher. And start with a cleansing breath out through the mouth. Once more like this, inhale fully from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head. Exhale with a sigh. The next time you inhale, imagine your breath, again, moving up the back. This time as you reach the peak of your inhale, bring the peak of your inhale to that space right between your eyebrows, your third eye point. And as you exhale, imagine your breath moving down the front of your body, all the way back down to the base of your spine. So you're creating this circular pattern with your breath and this closed circuit with your breath. Again, inhale up the back of your body, all the way up through the top of your crown to your third eye point. And when you're ready for the exhale, imagine that moving down through the front of you. And twice more like this, inhale up the back of you. Exhale everything forward. One more inhale from the back, past reflections. And stopping at your third eye point, your place of vision. And then exhaling down the front, future possibilities. And continue to move through your breath. You might start to soften the visualization, or if that's resonating, always the option to keep that. And gently bring your palms towards one another at heart center. You can always bow your head down. And set your own intention for practice today. As you move through your body, as you move through your breath, how do you connect in? And giving ourselves permission to be human, knowing that we're not always going to be present on the mat, that life will pull our attention in other directions. And we simply notice and come back to practice. And then life pulls us away again, and we notice and we come back to our practice. And that is the meditation. And that is the moving meditation that we cultivate on our mats to strengthen our awareness in other parts of our lives. And take one more deep breath in through your nose. Let out a big sigh. Release your palms back down to your legs. If your eyes are closed, gently open the lids of your eyes. All right, so let's transition onto our backs. Have your strap or belt or whatever you have with you to keep your arms a little longer. Go ahead, unravel it. Keep that nearby. Just know where it is in space, so that's accessible to you later. And then come to lie down onto your back. Bend into your knees, soles of your feet to the floor, and keep your feet about hip width distance for the time being. Take a moment now to feel that transition as now your hips can get a little heavier. Your torso doesn't have to hold itself up. You can kind of soften into the mat. And take a deep breath here. And exhale. Hug your knees in towards your chest. They can be close together. They might be wider apart. And then take a couple gentle rocks side to side or some circles. And starting to find a little bit of movement in through your physical body and see if you can maintain that steadiness of breath that you just cultivated. And slowly start to bring yourself back to center. Keep the right leg in, bring the sole of your left foot back down to the floor. And then find your strap, belt, and wrap it around the ball of your right foot. Before you go anywhere, keep a nice bend into that right knee, flex into your right foot. Really think of drawing your toes back. And then the action is heel pressing up. Your heel is what's energizing you to extend. Once you find that extension, notice if your toes are turning out, turning in, kind of find center, whatever center is for you. And then bring your awareness to the big toe mound and the little toe mound. And notice, do you push up more through the outer blade of your foot? Do you push up more through the inner blade of your foot? And then find center there. So all of those little movements provide a lot of effort, right? We're putting a lot of effort in to find what does it feel like to find our center point. Once you find that, bend your knee towards your chest. So the heel's not going to come to the bum, the knee's going to move in towards your chest. And then re-extend, press your heel back up towards the ceiling. Starting to activate the energy in the legs. Again, bend your knee towards your chest. And then exhale, press it back up to the ceiling. Nice. Twice more like this. Exhale to bend in. Inhale, press away. Last one, exhale to bend. Inhale to press. Keep your leg extended. This time, turn your toes out as you turn your heel in so you can feel the rotation in the hip socket, and then bring the toes back in, bring the heel back to center. Twice more like this. Turn the heel in, toes out. Bring it back to center. Last one, heel in, toes out. Bring the strap into your right hand, and then take a nice bend to your knee as you set your right ankle towards your left thigh. Remove the strap and press your knee towards the front of your mat. So you've got like this figure four action happening. Hands can stay on your hips. You might take your right hand onto your right thigh. As long as we're not pressing the knee joint itself, and give yourself a little traction. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And out. One more here. Stay here with your left foot on the floor. Option to bring your left foot up onto a block, or you might hug your left knee in. And then I'm going to take my right hand through that negative space triangle I created and interlace both my hands behind the left thigh if you're choosing to hug it in. Stay here and breathe into your right hip. Maybe you flex into your left heel. Now the left heel starts to extend, so you're bringing some action into that left hamstring. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Nice. And out. And two more. Rebend into your left knee if it's high. Bring the sole of your left foot back down to the ground. Slide your right knee on top of your left knee. So now you've got a crisscross action happening in the knees. Yep. And then hug your knees in towards your chest and pull your feet towards one another. So now you're feeling some action on both sides of the hips. Take your left elbow over your right elbow and find a wrap of your arms. So now you've got a Gomukhasana lying down. As you inhale, send your feet away, send your arms to the back of your mat. And as you exhale, start to hug everything in. So you find elbows towards knees. There's a little crunch. Nice. Inhale, send it back and forth. Exhale, draw it in. One more. Inhale, extend. Exhale in. Inhale to neutral. Release your arms down. Release your left foot back down to the ground. Unravel your legs. Bring both of your feet to the floor about hip width distance. Take your arms out to a T, either in arms extended or bend into your elbows, and let your knees drop down to one side and then the other. So a gentle windshield wiper. You can always play around with your feet going wider than hip width distance, closer or further away from your sits bones. So just using this moment to experiment. What does it feel like to get into the lower part of your back, into the hips a bit? Go ahead, bring your knees back to neutral. Walk them back in. This time, hug your left knee into the chest. Go ahead, find your strap again, flex into your left heel. Place the strap around the ball of the left foot, and then think of sending the heel to the ceiling. All those same actions. Notice where the foot is in space. Notice if you press through the outer line or the inner line a bit more. Take your time to adjust. Make those small movements to find what feels like center today. Once you find that action, as you exhale, knee bends in towards your chest, and then press the heel back up to the ceiling. Yep, we'll take that 3 more times. Go ahead, bend it in. And you can put a little resistance here if you want. So as you send the heel back up, your arms are pulling down a little. Let's take that 2 more times. And so really just starting to cultivate some of that energy in the legs, starting to stir up some movement. The next time you have your leg extended long, start to turn the toes out to the left as your heel turns in, and then bring it back to center. Nice. Twice more. And you might notice left and right sides feel a little bit different. Like I notice my left hip, this feels a little bit like I have to put more effort in than on my right hip. And so the next time you have your left toes turned out, bring the strap into your left hand. Nice bend into your left knee. So you can gently place the left ankle to right thigh. Remove your strap. And again, option here to bring your left hand onto your thigh. Give yourself a little traction as you press forward. And take a deep breath in. And down. One more. And stay here and breathe. You might start to bring the right foot up to a block or hug it all the way in towards your chest. Again, interlace behind the thigh. Flex into that right foot, right heel towards the ceiling. Wherever you are in the shape, take 3 more cycles of breath. Rebend into your right knee, sole of the foot to the floor. Slide the left knee on top of the right so you have the stack of your knees. Hug the knees in towards your chest and then pull your feet towards one another. So as feet pull in, little expansion in the hips. This time, right elbow over the left elbow. Backs of the hands meet or palms can meet. As you inhale, send your palms back, send your feet forward. As you exhale, draw everything in. Head, neck, and shoulders lift as you find the crunch. Inhale, extend front to back. Exhale, draw it in. One more. Inhale to extend. Exhale in. Let your head come back down. Unravel your arms to a T or a cactus. Bring your right foot to the floor. Unravel your left leg. Bring your left foot to the floor. Feet about hip width distance apart, maybe a little bit further. And again, take this little windshield wiper from side to side. If it feels okay, you can also turn your head in the opposite direction, starting to bring the twist up into your neck towards the cervical spine. The next time your knees drop over to the right, allow them to stay there in this staggered variation of a twist. And stay for 3 cycles of breath. At the base of your exhale, engage your abdominals by drawing the navel and low abdominals in and up. Use that core strength to support your back as you come to neutral. Full breath in here. And then exhale, knees drop over to the left, gaze might drop over to the right, and 3 cycles of breath on this side. And find your center strength, bring everything back up to neutral. One more breath in. Option to sigh it out. Hug your knees in towards your chest one more time. This time you can start to rock and roll forward and back. If that doesn't feel good on your back, roll to one side and we'll all come up towards a tabletop. So right away you can transition onto hands and knees. Take your time to stack up your structure. So shoulders over wrist, hips over knees, really press into the fingers. You might even press into the fingers so much that the knuckle pads lift up a little bit and you have a little space under the palm. And then plug the tops of your feet down. Just like we did earlier, work with your foot, send your pinky blade down. So as the pinky blade comes down, you might notice that there's a little bit different rotation in the hips and the lower part of the body. From this place, start to send your tailbone back, crown forward as you arc it into cow. And then exhale, find the strength of your navel as you pull in to round into cat. Take it twice more. Inhale to find the drop. Exhale as you round. One more. Inhale here. Exhale. Bring it back to neutral. Tuck your toes underneath. And so this will be a short down dog. Start to send your hips up and back, probably a little bit shorter than you're used to taking, but we want to take it shorter today so we can really bend into the knees, work on sending the hips high and letting your heart sink down a little lower. Press down into your fingers. Imagine you can roll your shoulders out a little bit. So think of finding more space in the armpits, more space in the upper back. And then from your short down dog, you can start to play around with bending deeper into one knee, straightening one leg. Maybe you sway your hips from side to side. And come back to neutral. Send your gaze to the front of your mat. Walk yourself all the way forward, forward fold. Feet are about hip width distance apart or 2/5. Keep a nice generous bend into your knees, so much so that your torso can start to find some space near your thighs. Let your head get heavy. Press down into your feet. Think of lifting your hips up. And just like we did earlier, the hips are the catalyst for the straightening of the legs opposed to the knees. Take another inhale. And exhale. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins. Find your half lift. Exhale, release it back down. Twice more. Inhale to find a half lift. Shoulders move away from ears. Exhale as you fold. One more. Inhale to your lift. Exhale, palms to the ground. Big step back with the right foot. Drop your right knee, untuck your toes. Walk your hands up onto your front thigh, and then bring your knee over your ankle so we can start to breathe into that front of that right psoas. Keep yourself here with hands on thighs. Option to take your arms up and overhead. As you lift your arms up, imagine you can reach the ceiling and then send yourself back a little bit by sending your gaze to where your wall meets the ceiling. So you're lifting up then back. You might find a little more space in the hip, a little more space in the psoas. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, reach all the way forward and down. Right hand finds the floor or a block. Left arm sweeps up and around. So you're finding your twist. Press into the bottom right hand, extend the right arm up, left arm up. Take a full breath in. Exhale, left hand comes back down to the ground. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Step back to high plank. Stay here for a full breath in. As you exhale, shift forward just a little bit, drop your knees, elbows back, send your heart forward, lower to belly. Untuck your toes, draw your elbows in, lift up to a baby cobra. Exhale, forehead back down. Twice more like this. Inhale, press the legs down, press the feet down, torso lifts. Exhale, release. One more, inhale, find that back body strength. Exhale to fold. Tuck your toes underneath, press yourself up to tabletop, all the way back to down dog. Full breath in. And out. Two more here, always the option to find movement, to play. Turn your gaze to the front of your mat, walk yourself all the way forward, Uttanasana. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, release. This time, press into your feet, take your arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Release down, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach from the floor to the ceiling. And then exhale, little bend to the knees as you fold. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, palms to the ground, left foot steps back this time. Drop the left knee, untuck the toes. Walk it up so you're lifting the torso. And then shift forward, so right knee's over ankle. You got a little space in that left hip. Nice. Press down into your feet. Lift your arms up. Breathe through your left side hip. Breathe through your left side body. Stay here or lift up a little bit higher. Turn your gaze up. That's going to give you that arc. Take one more inhale. Exhale, reach all the way forward and down. Left hand stays connected. Right arm will reach forward and up. And then imagine you can press down into your bottom hand in order to find more space in your top hand. One more inhale. Exhale, top hand comes down to frame the front foot. Left toes tuck, lift the knee, step back to plank. Stay here for a full breath. Shift it forward, drop the knees, elbows back, head forward, lower to belly. Untuck your toes, unravel to baby cobra. You might start to come up a little higher to cobra. Exhale, forehead down. Tuck your toes underneath, make your way up and back. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And out. One more inhale. And exhale. Turn your gaze to the front, make your way forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Heel toe your feet together, bend your knees deep, reach your arms up, chair pose. Think of turning your pinkies in a little bit so you can find some rotation in the upper arms. Engage through your core. So we're maintaining the natural curve of the back without overarching it, right? So navel is going to find that support. Arms reach up. If at any point this causes compression in your shoulders, arms can always come to your heart. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, think of hips lift high, head drops low. Forward fold. Inhale to your half lift. Palms to the ground, big step back with the right foot again. This time, ground the right heel. Press down, rise up, warrior two. Find the knee over the ankle. Track it towards the pinky side a little. Yes. So that way it's kind of opening up that inner line. And then see if you can bring your right hand to your low back. Fingertips face down. Use your hand as a guide So you kind of see where your hips are in space. And like we do with our foot, more or less think of your tailbone pointing down. Then drop a little deeper. Make sure that front knee is tracking towards the pinky. Yes. Then take your arms wide. Nice. Shift your gaze over your front middle finger. Engage through your legs. Full breath in. And out. Legs will stay as they are in this strength. Torso reaches up and back to reverse your warrior. Breathe into your front ribs. Stay here for a full breath in. And out. Inhale back to warrior two. Straighten through your front leg. Hands to hips, heel toe it so you're facing the back of your mat. Adjust your feet and then bend into your right knee. Bring your left hand to your low back. Fingertips face down. Use that as a steering wheel to find where your sacrum is in space. Think of tailbone dropping. So we're not tucking the tailbone and hips drop, giving you a little more space in the spine. Yep. Fire up the legs. Front knee opens towards the pinky a little bit, and then take the arms wide again. So all that structure in your legs, all that stability, stay here for a full breath in. And out. Again, legs stay as they are. Let the upper body take the movement as you reverse your warrior. And then breathe into your front right ribs this time. Deep breath in. And out. Inhale back up, warrior two. Straighten through your front leg, hands to hips. Pivot your toes towards the front of your mat. Bend into your knees, 1 or 2 big steps to the front, Tadasana. Full breath in. And out. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, bend to the knees, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, palms to the ground, step your right foot back, followed by your left high plank. Shift forward with or without knees, lower to belly. Unravel to your back bend of choice. You might choose to tuck your toes and move straight up and back, downward facing dog. Once you arrive, take a full breath in and out. Walk your left foot a little bit closer to center, micro bend your left knee, and then send your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Keep your toes pressing down, bend into your right knee, and start to stack your right hip atop the left. So there's a rotation in the lower body, but this time the lower body's moving, but the upper body more or less stays the same. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, square off your hips, roll forward, right knee towards nose. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, this time right foot steps through between the hands. Keep your back knee lifted, press into your front foot, take your arms all the way up and overhead. Micro bend that back knee, bring your hands to your hips, just like we did in Warrior Two. Actually bring one hand to low belly, one hand to your low back, and then use that to kind of stack your torso. Yes, think of pulling up on the low belly, navel, and notice if you just felt that in the front of your right hip. And then stay here. You might start to send your heel back on the left. That'll straighten the leg. And then take your arms back up. So really working these little micro movements to build our structure. Full breath in. Maybe on the exhale, you bend in a little deeper. Yes. One more inhale. Exhale, palms to the ground. Left hand stays connected. Right hand reaches forward, up, and around. Always the option to drop the back knee here. Take a full breath in. And out. One more inhale. Exhale, top arm to frame the front foot. Step back to plank. You can let your right leg hover if you want to play there. Shift and lower. Unravel into a back bend of your choice. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Big breath out. Right foot to the center of your mat a little bit. Left heel lifts high. Keep a little bend into the right knee. Imagine your heel pressing down as your left heel lifts up. Bend the left knee, start to stack the hips. Keep pressing into the palms. So notice if you start to turn the whole torso to the left, see if you can keep the torso more or less centered as you lift up through the hips. Take another inhale. Exhale, square off through your hips, start to roll forward, left knee towards nose, right heel back. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot through between your hands. Back foot stays lifted. Press down, rise up, high lunge. Hands to your hips, micro bend that back knee. Yep, hand to belly, hand to low back. Think of lifting up by drawing the belly in. So that's going to give you a little lift. See if you feel that into the right hip. Keep that. And now bring your awareness into your right foot. Send your right heel back. That's going to take the bend out of the knee. Keep that. And then take the arms up. Whew, whole different high lunge. Take a full breath in. Exhale, maybe you drop it down a little. Yes, one more inhale. Exhale, palms to the front. Right hand stays connected. Left arm reaches forward and up. Take a full breath in your twist. And exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, left hand to the floor. Left foot steps back to plank. Option to hover, shift, and lower. Unravel to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. And out. This time, walk your hands to the back of your mat. So take your forward fold at the back of your mat. Heel toe your feet together, bend your knees, rise up, Utkatasana chair pose. And then, excuse me, shift the weight. Let's bring the hands to the hips first. Shift the weight to your right foot. Take left ankle to right knee. So just like we did lying down, yes. Keep letting yourself sit down. Hands can stay at your hips. Hands can come to your heart. Maybe you play with arms up. So whatever variation works for you here. First, give yourself some time to sink. Breathe into the hips a bit. Take another inhale. And exhale. All right, here we go. Right hand to right hip. First two fingers of the left hand, find that left toe. Give yourself a good wrap on the toe. Yep, we're gonna press down into the space foot, pull in through the core, and that's gonna start to lift us up. Yes. Stay here for a breath, or you might start to send the energy out your lifted foot. Send it out from the heel as you press the foot forward. Yes, nice. Take another deep breath in. And out. One more inhale. All right, here we go. Keep the strength of your lifted leg. Take your right arm up. Release your toes. Take your left arm up. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release it down. Take your feet a little bit wider than hip width distance. Rock it out, roll out through your ankles. Whew, shake it out. Flutter your lips. You're like me. And you clench your jaw and balances. And then come back to center. Take a moment at Tadasana. Spread out through your toes. Ground yourself back down. So take a moment to find center again. And then once you're ready, heel toe your feet together. Bend your knees, reach up, Utkatasana. Bring your hands to your hips. Shift the weight to your left foot. Right ankle, left knee. So once you find yourself on this side, just like we did earlier, left and right might feel different. So find the space on this side where you feel your stability. You can feel some opening space in the hips. And then take your left hand to left hip. First two fingers around your right big toe. Press down, draw in. So that's the action. that is going to help to lift us up. Yes, find your space, connect with the earth. When you're ready, energize out through your heel. So imagine I like to imagine light. I'm a light imaginer. So I imagine like a beam of light coming out my heel. You're welcome to take that or anything else. But really this idea of like, that's what's propelling you forward. Lift up through the crown of your head. Take another deep inhale. And exhale. Left arm to the ceiling. Keep that leg lifted, right arm to the ceiling. Full breath in. Exhale it all down. Palms down. Take it wide. Rock it out, shake it out, flutter it out. Anything you need here. All right. And then back to Tadasana at the back of your mat. Inhale, take your arms up and overhead. This time, exhale, interlace your hands behind you. Press your palms down, lift up through your torso. Deep bend into your knees, so much so that torso meets the thighs. And then head to the floor, hands to the sky, forward fold. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale it out. One more inhale. Exhale, gently release your hands from the bind, find the floor, walk yourself back to your high lunge, or excuse me, high plank. Take a full breath in here. Exhale, shift forward and lower. Unravel to your back bend. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And out. One more inhale. And exhale. Drop your knees about as wide as your mat. Untuck your toes, toes together. Send your hips back, wide knee child's pose. Option to tent up onto your fingertips here. If you want to keep it a little more active, breathe into your underarms, breathe into the space under your palms. Full breath in. And out. And 2 more cycles of breath here. If you're tented up onto fingertips, release your palms back down to the floor. Gently walk yourself up to sit onto your shins. And you can walk your knees towards one another. You can sit on a block here or a blanket. If sitting on your shins hurts the knees, go ahead and come onto sits bones. Inhale, take your arms up and overhead. Left hand to your low back, fingertips down. Right hand to the outside line of your left leg. And then use that connection to your low back to turn yourself over to the left. You can keep your hand on your sacrum, maybe you bring it to a block or the floor. But wherever you are, think of your collarbones moving away from each other. So notice if the collarbones kind of drew in. See if you can breathe into your collarbones a little bit more to open up not only the twist, but the space in your upper body. Full breath in. And out. Release your left hand from your low back or behind you. Take your left hand to the outside line of your right leg. So now I've got my left elbow on top of my right elbow. Bend into your elbows. So you take your eagle wrap. Nice. Take an inhale here as you lift up. And then option to stay here or exhale, draw your navel in, start to pull your elbows down towards your knees. Tailbone sends back, arms reach forward as you lift it back up. Exhale, draw it in. Last one, inhale, tailbone back, crown forward, elbows lift. This time, exhale, elbows to neutral. Unravel your arms, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, right hand to your low back, left hand to the outside of your right leg. Inhale, find a little length, and as you exhale, start to take your twist. Same thing, notice what's going on with the shoulders. Think of finding some back body strength to expand from collarbone to collarbone. Breathe into your twist, breathe into your upper body. Your hand can stay on your back. You can find any other variation that resonates. Take your right hand as you unravel to the left leg. So right elbows over left. Bend into both of your elbows. Find your eagle wrap on this side. Press the elbows forward and up. Again, option to stay right here. As you exhale, you can draw your navel in. Find your elbows down towards your knees. And then think of moving in two directions. So tailbone back, crown reaches forward. It's almost like a little arc there, like our cow spine. And then exhale, pull it back down. Inhale, front to back as you lift. Last one, exhale, turn in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, elbows to neutral. Release the bind, big sweep of the arms, palms connect above you. Exhale, this time, hands to heart center. Take a full breath in here. Exhale with a sigh. Release your hands down to the mat, step yourself back to plank, and then one more time, all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Exhale with a sigh. Release your knees down to the ground, sweep your feet to the side or crisscross the ankles as you transition towards your sits bones. And then if you want to have a blanket here, feel free to grab a blanket, set yourself up a little bit higher. And let's go ahead and take right foot to the upper right-hand corner of your mat, sole of your left foot in towards your right thigh. Palms come down by your side. So start by lifting up through the torso, then pivot yourself. You can take your hand on the inside line, so you're facing the right toes. Same action we did earlier. So check out where your foot is hanging out in space. Like I know I tend to press the pinky toe in. So what does it feel like for neutral? You might even pretend you're pushing your foot on a wall. So you're finding space on the inside and outside line of your leg. Stay here and breathe, or as you exhale, start to hinge from the hips as you fold forward. And notice if the tendency is to lock out through the kneecap. Can you keep a little buoyancy there, but just as much strength as you find your fold? And once you find your fold, we'll stay here for 3 full cycles. Begin to walk yourself back up to neutral. Release your left foot. Take your left foot to the upper left-hand corner, sole of the right foot in towards your left thigh. Start with the palms down from side to side. Press down to find some length here. Adjust the toes, and then turn your torso so you're facing the left leg this time. When you're ready, start to find your hinge forward on this side. Hands can stay close. You can walk your hands to the calf, to the toes. So anywhere that finds you some stretch in the hamstring. Take another deep inhale through your nose. Exhale. Keep pressing into that imaginary wall at the base of your foot for 2 more breaths. Last one. Walk yourself back up to neutral. Square off through your torso. Both of your feet come to the floor. Slide off your blanket if you're on it. You can set that off to the side again and bring your palms behind you, fingertips face forward. Think of pushing into your palms to lift up through your torso a bit, and then you can take a windshield wiper from this space. Same thing as we did lying down, you might turn your gaze from one side to the other. And the next time your knees come through neutral, allow yourself to stay. Take any adjustments you need to come all the way down onto your back once more. Full breath in. And exhale. Coming back to that feeling of softening the weight into your hips, into your torso, back onto your mat. An option to stay right here and breathe if that feels good. If you have a block, you can take a block to the very lowest height. Maybe you place that underneath your sacrum and you take a supported bridge. If you feel like you'd like to press up without a block, you can grab onto the edges of your mat. Give your mat a little tug from either side so you feel your shoulder blades expanding in the front, contracting in the back, and then really plug down into your feet. Before you go anywhere, press your feet down and imagine your feet are pulling back. So this isometric pull back is going to help to lift the hips up. Keep the gaze up through the ceiling so your neck is neutral. And then breathe into the front of your hips. And 2 more cycles of breath. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, softly release the hips. If you're on a block, you can gently come off of your block. Take a breath at neutral. Once more, press into your feet. Send your hips just a little bit over to the left. Knees come in and let your knees drop over to the right. So if there's a different form of a twist that you want here, please feel free to take it. So if you want to do like one leg hugged in, one leg extended long. So really any form of a twist that works here for you. Arms take any variation that feels good. Gaze to the ceiling or maybe over the left shoulder. 5 full breaths. At the base of your 5th exhale, engage through your center. Draw the knees back up to neutral. Soles of your feet find the floor. Neutralize through your hips. Take a full breath in. And exhale out. Press your feet to the floor. Scoot your hips over to the right a little. Hug the knees in. And this time you can drop your knees over to the left. Again, take your time to set up and take your time to find a place where you can soften into your twist. Gaze can turn over the right elbow if that feels appropriate. And breathe. At the base of your 5th exhale, again, engage lightly through your center. Gaze to neutral, knees to neutral. Bring your feet to the floor, square off through your hips one more time here. Full breath in. Option to sigh everything out. If there's any other shapes or movement that you'd like, please feel free to take it. Otherwise, if you feel ready, you can begin the transition to Shavasana. You might stay with knees bent in constructive rest if that feels good. You might also choose to close your practice in an upright seat. So, whatever feels best in your body, taking the time to get yourself comfortable. Maybe that means extra support. Maybe that means an extra sweatshirt or socks. So, really taking the time to place your body in comfort so that your mind can move away from anything that's distracting and allow itself to start to rest. Let's take one more deep inhale, this time from the tips of your toes all the way up to the crown of your head, really filling to the full capacity of your breath. One more big old sigh out. Allow yourself to rest, to integrate your practice, and to soften into support beneath you. Very gently begin to deepen your breath. And as you feel your breath deepen, notice how your body starts to respond by expanding through the ribs on the inhale, and feeling your ribs soften and contract on your exhale. And start to cultivate this gentle movement through other parts of you, your hands, your arms, your feet, your legs. And eventually, if you choose to come back up to a seat, allow yourself to transition, knowing that you are more than welcome to stay exactly as you are. And gently bring your palms to meet each other at your center of your heart. Equal pressure into all of your fingers as you connect left and right sides, again, creating this closed circuit within your body. And take a deep breath in, expanding out in all directions. Exhale everything out. And thank you for exploring the intricacies of you, of moving with intention, moving with curiosity, and allowing yourself to be in this human cycle as we explore challenges, as we explore ease, and learn how to meet them both on the mat so that we may meet them with grace off the mat. Namaste. Thank you very much.